Did you ever play the Buccaneers when you?
Yeah, we played them a regular season and a preseason game in those 2 years.
What do you remember?
Won the preseason, lost the regular season. Won the one that didn't count.
What do you remember about playing in Tampa too, and just his defense in general?
A lot of people, a lot of NFL teams play that. Well, a lot of college teams play that. Probably not as many as they used to. It's getting to where a lot of teams don't want their middle linebacker with his back turned running down the middle. And basically, that's sort of what it is. The two deep guys play a little wider, and their middle linebacker goes way back there. So, but you know, it's a good defense. All defenses are real good when played well, and so forth. But certainly when Derek Brooks down there at the Buccaneers, he got a whole bunch of interceptions playing that coverage. Yeah.
Coach, when you watch the film on Tennessee's defense, how much does Eric Berry stand out? And is there anything you're going to try to do to neutralize him? Or
we just got to keep an eye on where he's going to be a little bit. But you know, he's a safety that comes down near the line of scrimmage more than not. But he watches the quarterback and he goes for interceptions now. He's not shy about going for the ball. And that's why he gets so many.
Coach, a lot of people talk about Barry, but I think Rico McCoy is the one leading them in tackles. He plays the same position as Eric. How does he, watching him, McCoy on film, how does he compare to Eric Nolan?
Oh, he's a little different type player, I would say, than Eric. Eric's an outstanding outside pass rusher as well as tackles behind the line of scrimmage guy. But yeah, Eric. Hopefully he'll have our Eric Norwood will have a big game this week too. And to do that, we got to put him in throwing positions. They're going to, in all likelihood, try to run it down our throats. We've given up a lot more, seems like, rushing yards than passing yards. So we got to be tough against the run this week.
Steve, it's been a couple of weeks, I think, since he's had a sack. Are you seeing? I know you don't watch a lot of that tape, but are you seeing teams doubling him and running and moving the pocket away from him?
A little bit, but yeah, we haven't got ahead of anybody the last 2 weeks. Too much to throw, but he just hadn't had a lot of opportunities really.
Coach Lane Kiffin, do you feel like he's good for the SEC? All the attention he's brought to Tennessee back this year.
Oh, that's for all you media people to comment on that. I'm trying to worry about my own team here.
You approach this game like you approached the Alabama game, going into a hostile environment and having to score every chance you have with the ball?
We approach this game like we do all of them, really. We try to get the best plan possible and try to get our players ready to play physically, mentally, emotionally, and all that. This is a game, and they're not number one in the nation or number two in the nation, but they probably could be if they'd won their close game, certainly. Talent-wise, I think they're certainly a top 25 team, but they've had some plays to go against them in the close games, and that's why they have the record. But again, we know we're a little bit of an underdog going there, which we should be, and we got to play well to beat them. But we're looking forward to it. We still haven't played, I don't think, up to our potential, but hopefully it'll kick in here the last third of the season.
In this last third of the season, given the teams you play on the schedule, this is a tough patch for you. Is that something you talk about to the team going in these last 4 games, or does everybody know it?
We should be pretty even with Arkansas and Tennessee. Our record's a little better than both those teams. But some years, these last 4, the teams are certainly have been better than South Carolina. But anyway, we go one at a time, and this week's the Tennessee game, and that's all we talk about, one game at a time.
Coach, you trying to move closer this week to putting Alshon and Torrey on the field at the same time?
That could happen. That could happen.
Steve, I know when you came to South Carolina, you looked at the concept of moving up in the SEC and catching programs ahead of you. If you beat Tennessee, you guys will have the same number of losses during your time in South Carolina. They'll have one more win. And the games have been pretty competitive between the two since you've been here. So my question is, in your opinion, do you think you've caught Tennessee as you've tried to move up the ladder in the SEC East?
Well, every year is a different year, and then certainly we have been very competitive with Tennessee all 4 games. We could have won the 2 we lost, but we could have probably lost one of the ones we won anyway. Last year we got ahead pretty comfortably, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I sort of think that we're close with them right now. Yeah, we're 2-2 with them. But again, yeah, we're 3-2 with Vanderbilt. We almost were we had a losing record against Vandy. So, every game stands on its own merit. And we're going to need to play well, though, to beat Tennessee this year. Last year we really didn't play all that well. We had 2 big turnovers. I think Stoney picked one off and scored, and then we got another one down to the 5-yard line. And that was probably enough to beat them, the way their offense was last year. So we didn't do much on offense, but fortunately it was one of those games that we didn't have to last year.
Steve, are you getting comfortable now winning 14-10 or 16-10, or do you kind of still long for that winning that 45-35 shootout?
No, I long for 38-10. Something like that. That's what we all long for, and we believe we're capable of playing a lot better, but we certainly haven't done it yet. So we keep firing at them and having a go at them, and see what we can do down the road here, starting this week.
I know in that same vein, you guys are 4-1, I believe, in close games this year. Is there something to guys knowing how to win, or coaches knowing how to win in those close games?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the guy that wins a bunch of close ones, they all say that. Yeah, I'm not so sure it just happened that way. It's sort of like a guy made a 10-footer, missed one. Everybody hit the ball about the same. One guy made a putt and one guy didn't, and that's sort of the way sports are nowadays, with teams so even. So anyway, we have been fortunate. We played pretty decent in the second halves, but we still should play a lot better, I think. Yeah, we haven't had knock on wood, we hadn't had a turnover at home in 2 weeks. How about that, Mark? Did you know that? That may be a record. Joe, you're pretty good at finding records. Ron, if we're ever going back-to-back home games without a turnover that you know of? Somebody needs to look at that. Dan, you know? Can't look at that, can you? I think I've had, 4 in my coaching career. Ron looked it up where neither team had a turnover. And we've had, 2 of them back-to-back here. So anyway. We get a turnover against Kentucky. No, we gave up a turnover. That's what it was. No, Stephen had an interception. My bad. I was thinking of those others. But, yeah, we haven't received a turnover. That's what it is. We threw an interception against Kentucky. My bad. Yeah, our referees have struggled a little bit lately. Yeah, we had a few missed calls in our game. We turned in a bunch of them, but when you win the game, you don't worry about it too much. But yeah, they've struggled a little bit, but I can assure you, our commissioner and our head of officials, Rogers Redding, is on top of it. I think he does a super job. I'm not sure his referees do as good a job as Rogers does right now, but yeah, they're going through a little difficulty. But yeah, I don't know the answer for all that. But to say, I think they're trying to get it right, but they have made some errors here lately.